Today's story is called Little Raccoon Catches a Cold. One morning, Little Raccoon woke up early. He looked outside and he saw that the sun was shining. He took a deep breath and he smelled the woods. He knew right away that it was the perfect day to go outside to play. So he hopped out of bed very quickly and he got dressed all by himself. He ran downstairs as fast as he could. Just as he reached the door, he heard his mother calling out, "Little Raccoon, where are you going?" "Outside to play," said Little Raccoon. "Well, not without your breakfast," said his mother. "You must have a healthy breakfast before you go play. If you don't, you might catch a cold." So Little Raccoon sat down and he had cereal, toast, and juice. When he had finished, he jumped up and ran outside. But before he reached the door, his father called, "Little Raccoon, where are you going?" "Outside to play," said Little Raccoon. "Not without your jacket," said Little Raccoon's father. "If you don't keep warm, you might catch a cold." So Little Raccoon ran back up to his room and he put on his favorite blue jacket. Now he was ready. Little Raccoon ran downstairs and almost bumped right into his friend, Red Squirrel. "Let's go puddle splashing," said Red Squirrel. Just as they started to go, Little Raccoon's big brother called, "Little Raccoon, where are you going?" "Puddle splashing," he answered. "Well, not without your boots," said Little Raccoon's big brother. "If you don't keep your feet dry, you might catch a cold." Little Raccoon looked down and he saw Red Squirrel had green boots. So Little Raccoon stomped back upstairs to find his boots. He looked in his closet. They weren't there. He even looked in under his bed. They weren't there. He looked in his toy box. They weren't there. He stopped and he said, "Wait a minute. What if I can catch a cold? I'll trap him and put him in a box and lock him up tight." Little Raccoon got so excited that he forgot all about his boots. He grabbed a sack and he filled it with things that he could use to catch a cold. One more time, he ran downstairs. "Let's go," Little Raccoon said to Red Squirrel. He whispered softly, "We're going to catch a cold." And off they went. As they walked, Little Raccoon was busy looking. He looked up in the trees. He looked behind the bushes. And he looked under some rocks. "What are you looking for?" Red Squirrel asked. We're looking for a cold," Little Raccoon answered. "And I'm going to catch him with this." Little Raccoon reached deep inside of his sack and pulled out his baseball mitt. Red Squirrel laughed. "You can't catch a cold with that." "Oh, yes, I can," cried Little Raccoon. "Wait and see." And he started to run around, holding his baseball mitt high and waving for a cold. He wanted it to fly by. Red Squirrel just watched. Then he ate his lunch. Finally, he said to Little Raccoon, "You didn't eat any lunch. You can't catch a cold. Let's go puddle splashing instead." "Not yet," said Little Raccoon. "I'm going to get that cold, and I'm going to catch him with this." He reached deep inside of his sack and pulled out a butterfly net. Red Squirrel laughed so hard that he almost fell backwards. "You can't catch a cold with that." "Oh, yes, I can," cried Little Raccoon. He took his jacket off and he ran around swinging his butterfly net. But Red Squirrel was tired of watching Little Raccoon. "I'm going puddle splashing myself," he said, and he walked down to the edge of the stream. "Here I go," he shouted. "Come on, try it." "Not me," said Little Raccoon. "I'm still looking for a cold. And I'm going to catch him with this." This time he reached deep inside of his sack and pulled out his water pail. Red Squirrel couldn't stop laughing. "You can't catch a cold with that." "Oh, yes, I can," cried Little Raccoon. "A cold can hide in the air, but he can't hide in water." And he leaned down to the edge of the stream to scoop up some water. Just then, Little Raccoon remembered that he didn't have his rain boots on. His feet felt very wet. And he remembered he didn't have his blue jacket on. His arms felt chilly. Still, he stepped a bit closer to the stream. Before he knew it, Little Raccoon fell right in. "Oh no!" cried Red Squirrel, and he rushed to help. Little Raccoon got up. Little Raccoon was soaked. "I guess you don't want to go puddle splashing anymore," said Red Squirrel. "No," said Little Raccoon, "and I don't want to catch a cold anymore either." Suddenly, Little Raccoon started to shiver. By the time that they got back to his house, Little Raccoon couldn't stop shivering. Waiting at the door was his father. "Little Raccoon, you are soaking wet. Where is your jacket?" Little Raccoon wanted to say that he was trying to catch a cold with his water pail, but before he could answer, his father scooped him up and took him upstairs to his room to help him. He put on his striped pajamas. Little Raccoon's big brother walked in. He gave Little Raccoon a hug and rubbed his feet. "Oh, Little Raccoon," he said, "your toes are so cold. Didn't you wear your boots?" Little Raccoon wanted to say that he was trying to catch a cold with his butterfly net, but before he could answer, his big brother scooped him up onto his lap and helped him. He helped him put on his slippers. Then Little Raccoon's mother came in. "Little Raccoon," she said, "you left the house before I could pack your lunch. Weren't you hungry?" Little Raccoon wanted to say that he was too busy trying to catch a cold with his baseball mitt, but he knew that wasn't a good answer. So instead, he opened up his mouth wide and he let his mother give him a spoonful of hot soup. "Thank you, I feel warmer now," said Little Raccoon. "Can Red Squirrel and I go back outside?" Little Raccoon's father started to say something, but he was interrupted by a great big sneeze. Little Raccoon's big brother started to say something, but he was interrupted by another great big sneeze. "Oh, Little Raccoon," laughed Red Squirrel. "You couldn't catch a cold with your baseball mitt or your butterfly net or your watering pail, but it looks to me like you caught a cold." So I guess in the end, Little Raccoon did catch a cold. Bye.